Welcome to RSL After Dark. I'm David James. He's Matty Casey. He picked the name. He's already pumped. He loves that name. Is that because you love Pac-12 After Dark and you just got hooked on that? How'd you get RSL After Dark?
I mean, look how excited Pablo is. He's screaming over my shoulder. No, man. MLS After Dark. Everyone knows that the late game back in MLS 2.0 was always where
Yeah,
you were going to get some craziness.
yeah, yeah. You see that. You see that all the time. I guess the NBA doesn't have After Dark. Major League Baseball. It should. It should. They don't. It's a soccer college football thing. But yeah.
I'm glad that I trademarked it.
West is best. That's where all the exciting stuff happens. West is best. All right, we have multiple topics to hit tonight. I don't know that we'll get to all of them. We will start with the most recent game with RSL in Orlando. We obviously have to look ahead to León on Tuesday in the Leagues Cup quarterfinals. There are transfer window issues. Some of it led to hugs on the sideline. We'll get to that. Maybe a little something on the Utah Royals, and we got a Rocky Mountain Cup rivalry game to look ahead to, all within the next week. Here we go. So let's start with Orlando. If I had to say one reason that RSL lost this game 2-1, that they can control, I know what you're going to say. I'll let you say it, and we'll steal your thunder. But I think because of the way RSL played, 10 changes, which I'm totally on board with. They had to make them. The legs were heavy. There's an argument that they should have made them in the last home game. But they went for it with those guys, and, it didn't work out. And so leave some of the guys home. Don't even put them on a plane. Really let them rest, right? You got to take some subs. I thought just as far as style of play, there was too much deep defending. Orlando got a little lucky on the goals, but you make your own luck. And if you play most of the game in front of the goal, you might get lucky and score a goal. And I thought the way they threw numbers forward, RSL couldn't play through them to relieve the pressure. And when they tried to play over the top to midfield, sometimes they didn't have anyone in the area because whoever the striker was, early it was Olatunji, obviously at the end of the game after the substitution was Morgan Giavogi, but they felt like they had to drop back and defend, and they couldn't get, even if the guy held the ball up, there weren't numbers getting forward. I know it's heat, and I know it's humidity, and I know guys' legs and all that, but they were just giving the ball back in midfield, and Orlando was going right back to work. That, to me, that was the ball game. Everything else after that becomes the details. You, however, might have a slightly different take.
I mean, all I'll say is that one team had Antoine Griezmann and the other team didn't. I don't think we have to overcomplicate this. We talk all the time about, well, we're getting this player, we're getting that player. Sometimes if you want a $12 or $15 million striker who's going to score these goals, sometimes the way to do it is to pay $12 or $15 million. My friend David James told me that.
I did say that once upon a time.
We have this conversation every time we play LAFC. Why are they better than us? Because they have Son and we don't. They have Denis Bouanga and we don't. Those guys only need 2 chances to score 2 goals.
To be fair, that's 2 different things. Son is that if you want a big money player, you got to pay big money. Denis Bouanga did not come with the same rep and price tag. The way he's performed in LAFC, he has raised his rep, he has raised his price tag. Congratulations to him, his teammates, and his coaching staff. You don't do it by yourself, but he's delivered, and I think that's what RSL is trying to get. How do you find a Denis Bouanga who then outperforms his salary?
Well, I think we have one in Morgan Guilavogi, and I will say that if you deep dive into their numbers in Ligue 1, or however you say the French league correctly, you will find that they are very similar. And if you look at Denis' numbers when he first came to MLS, very similar to Morgan's, where he gets into places and can't finish. Then they put Son next to him, and he exploded. So maybe if Morgan had somebody...
Wait. I fear Denis Bouanga big time. Do not see, this is a problem. You're going to create negative energy in the universe with your weird take. You got to stop, Matty. You're part of the problem. You're not part of the solution, Matty. You're part of the problem. You don't have to be part of the solution. You can be a journalist. You can sit over here in the neutral territory. Denis Bouanga was to be respected and feared long before Son showed up.
Who was he playing with then?
What?
Who was he playing with then? Who was the center striker that was scoring all those goals?
Aggressive. He's played with multiple guys because they just rotate through guys. Like they don't think a transfer window is, we're going to sit out this transfer window and think about it. No, they will make a mistake out of aggression and let a guy go too early because they're just going to keep turning it over. He's played with multiple guys. Now, to your point, I'd have to go back and look, and I won't because I trust you, that he needed an adaptation period. I got to admit, I don't remember it. I just remember being terrified. Just that guy is going to take you apart. But you're probably right. There probably was an adaptation period. And I just think the big difference is that Bouanga is playing a lot in space, in transition, behind, if not all four defenders, at least two or three of them. And Giavogi right now tends to be checking back to the ball, combining in the midfield, and he's good at it. He's helping RSL play out of tight spaces. He's maintaining possession. The possession, while never good in Orlando, got better when he came in the game. He had a few touches in tight spaces. It was like, well, that was well done right there, But if you're going to be Denny Bouanga, and Bouanga does some of that. I don't want to cheat him out of that. Let's face it. It's fun to bag on LA teams no matter what. And I haven't found a sport yet, college or pro, where it's fun to bag on an LA team. Okay? USC, UCLA, LAFC, LA Galaxy, Dodgers, Lakers. Let's just go right on down. Maybe the Kings. Maybe the Mighty
Let's do
Ducks.
it.
There.
I'm not going to make fun of hockey players. I'm too old for that.
they'll take you in the corner, beat the snot out of you. That's the problem.
Pull my shirt over my head and make a fool out of me.
Yeah, right. I think that your point is well taken. To get back to the original one about Griezmann, you do get what you pay for, and elite players are big-time difference makers. And if Giavogi can get in front of goal, A, more often, and then B, finish more when he gets there, because he has been there. He's got 2 goals, and I think we're all curious if that most recent one is going to unlock things. I thought the guy who got unlocked was Marczak, because Marczak seemed to be playing scared. They've had to play him this last month because there's so many games, and they moved Gozo to England, and then they lose Booth to injury. Marczak's got to play, but he doesn't run behind. He checks back to the ball, and then he rarely even plays square balls. He usually just plays back to the back line. And you're kind of like, what are we doing here? What? And then he gets the goal tonight, which I thought was a quality finish. That ball from Junka's coming in hot, and he takes it one time on frame. He, quiet the heartbeat, the whole maturity thing, slow down, just put your foot out and put it on that ball. That ball's coming in with some heat on it. That ball had some mustard. That had some spice, and he just puts it on frame, gets the goal. I thought it was very well done. That was a really good finish. And then, like, his first 10 touches have been back. His next 10 touches, he's trying to beat guys. He's going forward, and when they were playing his right foot, he's dipping inside and then blowing by him. And like, wow, he got much more dynamic. I honestly, this might be a little harsh, I'd seen about enough of Tom. It's like, this isn't going to work. Whatever they do in the transfer, and they got to bring guys in, and then they can probably move on from him when they get new guys in. And now it's like, well, we got to see him again. If he's going to play like that, and there's always been this dichotomy with him. You always hear or see, if you watch games, how well he does with the national team, but then it doesn't translate when he comes back here. So maybe there is something to lock. Now, maybe it's not the right group. It's not the right tactic. Maybe mentally he's in that, maybe he needs a new start. You wonder. But you see what he did in Orlando, and you see the way he plays after and he could have had a second goal. That was a really good save by Maxime Crépeau.
I agree with you that when Marczak came in for Booth, I thought, here we go. This is our chance, right? There's no one behind him. There's no fear. Let's see what you got. And I was expecting more. I'll just say that. Okay. And in the first, 10, 20 minutes tonight, I was expecting more. I was texting one of the people, one of our friends in RSL, that when he gets forward, as soon as he lays the ball off, he doesn't run anymore. He would pass the ball and then stop. And that drives me mental. After he scored the goal, completely different player, amazing, amazing goal, but a 3 times amazing pass from Junka. Holy heck.
A really good ball from. Now, I do think that that's a case of where Orlando caught too deep. Catranis had the ball. They fear his service. They're all dropping back, packing into space. He plays the ball back to Sam, and Sam's coming up first time thinking, I got all this time and space. I'm going to try to do something. And the diagonal pass always has a better chance of unlocking the defense. Everybody expects a square ball. Everybody expects the ball straight forward. That diagonal pass, yep. I'm telling you, as a guy who has to watch a lot of games in a lot of different sports, My high school basketball coach against zone always taught us to look for the diagonal pass. I see it work in soccer. The Utah Mammoth come to town. It's the first time I've ever lived in an NHL town. And again, the diagonal pass unlocks teams on the ice too. It's in all these free-flowing games. They all have their different skill, but what they all have in common is the way you use space. And the diagonal pass, thing of beauty and great finish. Now, my question looking forward to the León game, unless you have more Orlando points, is they're going to bring these guys back, right? The whole reason you started 10 different guys is so you can bring these other guys back fresh. But Marczak has not played big minutes. So do they want to start Marczak because he's feeling it? Or do you want to go with DeAndre Yedlin? It's a big game, neutral site. Yedlin, veteran, poise. He has played that spot. And know that let him go and let him have the 60. But when you're bringing Marczak in, you got to tell him, this isn't a penalty. You've got speed. It's 52, 53, 5,400 feet, whatever it is in Commerce City. The game will be opening up, and you've got speed. Like, you are being deployed strategically. Be prepared. Be ready to answer the bell. This is going to be your role. My guess is that's what Pablo Mastroeni will do. I'm open to the other one, but I don't think that's the way they'll go.
I think it's just going to start with the back three. So look at Kobe Henry tonight. Did he do enough to displace Yedlin at right center back? Maybe yes, maybe no. You got to ask. I thought he was a baller tonight. I thought he was. Thought he was a take charge, handle business. He was not caught flat-footed. He was not caught ball watching. He was clearing things out, no nonsense. Yes, he got beat on one of the goals.
Inexperience versus León.
Sure.
I don't think they're going to want to go with that. I think he did himself a lot of favors. He's not been allowed to play in a year and a half, either because of injuries or because of decisions the coaching staff makes or the front office makes or whatever. We haven't seen him since the Champions League a year and a half ago. I mean, that's a long time. And then to come in and play that well, again,
Salute.
Well done. I just don't think they're giving him the start. They can play Yedlin there. They can play Philip Quinton there. I think Henry's still the third option. I'd be really surprised to see him in the starting 11.
So then are we saying Arias is going to play in the center, right? Center back? The middle of the back three? Otherwise, who is it going to be?
Philip Quinton. It's got to be Arias or Philip Quinton. Those are the options.
So then I think it's going to be Arias, but if you tell me it's going to be PQ, it's PQ.
Well, I think it's probably Arias there, and I think Lucas Engel goes to his left, and I think Philip Quinton goes to his right, and I think DeAndre Yedlin goes to wingback.
Yep,
and
that makes sense to me.
They do have a chance to bring Marczak in and either take Yedlin off or push Yedlin back and take Philip Quinton off, or push Philip Quinton inside and take Arias off, and all that could depend on who's looking good, who's redlining physically, who has a yellow card, who's having a good night, who's having a bad night. There are options there.
I think we will see the quote unquote starters. I think you go back to Leagues Cup, you go back to the Dallas game. I think that's the lineup we're going to see. But I do think that tonight had value in giving Pablo and staff confidence in a lot of these guys, either spot starting or coming off the bench.
Yeah. I think that I think I'd have to know León better. I mean, the one thing about Philip Quinton, he's at right center back. He's good. He's good enough. He's adequate. But I would not want him having a really pacey guy running at him. If León is running out an absolute burner, I mean, Philip's not slow. He's not slow.
No.
But
no.
if they've got someone, with grade A speed, that might be a little more than, And I don't know. I have not watched enough León film. I'm not well educated enough on what they're going to do and what their options are.
I really like Philip as a person, and I really like him as a player. I think he's better when the game is in front of him.
100%,
and I worry about him with sneaky fox in the box types. And I don't know if it's because he's so gosh darn tall that he has a hard time tracking the short guys. And I don't know how tall David Arcilla is. He's the leading scorer for León. And I hope I'm saying that name correctly. That's the way it's pronounced on YouTube. So if I'm wrong, take it to YouTube.
He's been awesome. So León is in 5th place right now in Liga MX. It's like actually 3-way tie for 4. It's a goal differential thing. They have 3 wins, 2 losses, 9 points. They've scored 7 goals in the 5 games, and he's got 3 of them. And the 3 Leagues Cup games, and they won them all.
Yep.
he scored 4 of the 6 goals. So
Yep.
that's 7 of 13 all comps in the last 5-6 weeks, whatever it is. He is on fire right now.
In Spanish, we call that en fuego.
Fuego. Yeah, I know, but that's so. We're both old enough to remember Dan Patrick on SportsCenter, and so I was trying to stay away from that cliche, and you just take us right there.
Oh, I cannonball into the pool on those. Please, let's talk. Let's just do a half-hour SportsCenter from 1990. I'm here for it.
Let's stick with RSL. We got half an hour.
Okay.
Guy. Let's keep going. The rest of the lineup against León, I assume, although this is one where most of the time I get what Pablo Mastroeni is doing. He's really pretty honest and open with the media.
Mm-hmm.
And, he tells you, he explains his decisions afterwards. And then I find him to be pretty consistent over time. And I find him to be pretty straightforward over time, which enables us to predict what he's going to do. And then he has told me specific things, and they have come to pass. And I'm like, well, if you're going to, Andres Gomez came in, hey, what do you think of that new kid? He goes, it's going to be a tough transition, but, within 2 years, he's going to be one of the top 2 wingers in the league. And I remember walking away thinking, you could have just said top 10, and I would have been overwhelmed. You didn't have to go top 2. But then he comes out, and he just absolutely blows up this. And with the first year, there was it wasn't working, right? And he's like, he doesn't know the language. He doesn't know anyone else on the continent. His wife didn't move here. Hey, he doesn't know his teammates. He doesn't know his coach. Give him a minute, okay? And year 2, he blows up, and everything Pablo said, he got it.
I just disagree so much with your premise. I thought Andres Gomez was so great out of the box. He had 5 or 6 assists, 4 or 5. I don't remember if it was 5 or 6. If it was 5, 4 of them were on game-winning goals. When the match was on the line, he was a dog that refused to lose, and he would beat players with pace. He wasn't scoring yet, but he was impacting results from day one.
But they're all in. There weren't enough goal contributions where he was on the field for what they want to accomplish. You need someone who's more dangerous and putting up bigger numbers. And when he started putting up the bigger numbers, they shot right up in the standings. He wasn't. You're right. I probably oversold that. I'll take that back.
That's okay.
There was hope there, but he wasn't. He wasn't on track to be one of the top 2 wingers in the league. I mean, I
remember. I don't remember what podcast I was a guest on, but I said, this is the breakout player. This is the guy the next year in 2024. I was like, this is the one for RSL to have a good year. It's got to be him. He's got to figure it out with Chicho. But there again, not to go back to my first point, 2 guys playing off each other with 2 threats. Right. You've got something to deal with. And tonight, what we didn't see was Solans.
Yes, you're right. And they were saving him. They were saving him 100%. And we all get why.
Yeah, I'm not saying they should have. But
to make Solans more dangerous, I think the defensive midfield starters, to get back to the León lineup, we're trying to stay on track here. But
I will take the train on a hard left. I apologize. Doing my best.
Squirrel. So anything.
I'm a work in progress, DJ.
Okay. I think the defensive midfielders, and this goes back to your point about Solans, I think it'll obviously be Caliscan and Spearings. However, I thought the guy who was pretty good tonight, who's a wild card, is Pablo Ruiz. And the thing about Pablo, what you might give up with a decision defensively or in positioning where Spearings can help, you might win because Spearings tends to connect the dots and he's steady, right?
Yep.
He's steady, and I know the coaches value that, but Pablo, I thought really, there were a couple times tonight he had the left leg back and he wanted to. He's like, no, it's really not there. And then he did the responsible, mature thing and played the 15-yard ball like a grown-up. But I think that against León, you need all the cards, right? And so the ability to ping a ball down the line to a winger, to go right over the top to Sergey, and I get it. In the end, we may be in a postgame. Why did that goal happen? Well, they got in behind Pablo because he pushed forward. Well, stuff happens. I think he won't start. I got to say, I'd probably do it. I'd be tempted. I'd do it. I think Noel starts no matter what.
I mean, I'm long on record that I'm with Child to see Noel and Pablo on the field at the same time for 90 minutes because I want to see what we see Noel, if he has a shortcoming, it's in the offense. I don't want him taking the shot. Every once in a while against St. Louis, he's going to hit a phenomenal goal. But you saw tonight, like he gets into the right spots, but he doesn't finish.
Yeah.
Give me Noel in the responsible, slightly more defensive role, and
Yep.
then give me Pablo for the agent of chaos who's going to hit the 60-yard diagonal out of nowhere and put it on somebody's foot.
Yeah.
Give me, I've been so good all year. Give me Noel and Pablo for 90 minutes. But Pablo Mastroeni said, not directly answering this, but I thought he told us what his thinking is. He likes to see a little more size on set piece defense. And I think that's what's keeping Pablo out I think that's what's keeping me away from that pairing.
Yep. That is definitely what Pablo Mastroeni, and when he brought it up, I think it was after the Minnesota game, a team that obviously really just about as big a team as RSL is going to see all year long. Depending on what lineup they have out there and subs and all that, they can have 6 or 7 6-foot-plus guys out there. And that doesn't count a aggressive 5'10" or 5'11" guy who can win a ball in the air too. So I absolutely get that decision. And I don't see enough of these Liga MX teams to know. But again, maybe Pablo comes in as a sub with 30, 40 minutes to go, and they start pinging balls when, Leon's already been running, they're a little more tired. Maybe it's a double substitution. You bring in Marczak's speed and Pablo's left leg, and that's probably most likely. I think the rest of the lineup's pretty much set, right? Sanabria on the left side. Salons will be back up top. Obviously, they'll do the dual 10s with Diego Luna and with Morgan Guiavogi. So
and I love that triple threat doing the rotations. But I'll tell you a dark horse that emerged for me tonight. A player that I've long loved is Luka Moisa, and I thought he was balling out tonight as well. He's the one who made that whole play it was about the 5th minute of injury time in the first half. He intercepts a pass, breaks all the way down the left. He's got Linney in the center who promptly gets into an offside position. Moisa waits. Moisa, you'll notice I'm saying not Moesa or whatever those commentators were saying. Moisa waits until Linney gets back on side. And then when the defenders take a step towards him, he beats them all and gets it to Marczak. And Marczak hit a shot just like the goal that he scored. And this time Crepeau got a fingertip to it.
Yeah,
but
good save.
Man alive, what a play from Moisa. And I thought,
and that
he looks so small, but gosh, he is just not physically intimidated.
He got a ball in the middle of the field in front of the center circle, but he's probably 40, 45 yards out. And he banged it one time on the money all the way to the left sideline to Catranas, whose first touch was excellent. It was forward. He had tons of space. He played it in front of him, and he got right back on top of that ball, and he sent in a really good ball. And that all started with Luka also. Yep. I mean, the teenager from Vegas, and and he played like a grown man, and then he's walking off the field, and they take the tight shot, and you're like, oh, wow, you shave once a month, don't you? He's got a bright future.
I'll tell you that, like, my favorite Luka Moisa, you could ask me in 20 years, he could be a Ballon d'Or winner. I'm going to tell you that my favorite thing I've ever seen Luka Moisa do was against Seattle in the first 10 or 15 minutes of the game earlier this year. He literally takes a run at Nuhu and just tries to body him. And I don't think Nuhu knows that it ever happened, but I'm still chuckling about it.
The thing is, and this brings us up to one topic we agree on 100%. The problem for Luka Moisa is the commissioner. There, fine. The decision, and I know there's business reasons behind it, but the decision to start MLS Next and the fact that it's being played as a U23 league, I think is slowing down the development of these young guys. Because the guys who are really good as they come up, they get where they're too good for MLS Next, but it's not even close to what they're going to face in MLS.
Right.
And when the Monarchs were playing in USL, what closed that gap was the 27-year-old, the 30-year-old, right?
Yes.
The veteran.
Blake.
Maybe they're not good enough, but they're way better than whatever 21 or 22-year-old. It's a new test. They're physical. They're thinking the game at a higher
wily.
rate. Wily. Yep. Yeah. And so really miss that and think that something needs to be done. And I keep waiting for the owners to push and say, listen, I'm going to get a team and I'm going to put it in USL, right?
Right.
Now, I know there's been enough back and forth with USL that maybe USL won't let MLS owners in, and that's the whole business thing. I just think on the field, the really good youngsters really need to be able to play in USL and not
100%.
get loaned out. I know you can loan them out, but that's not the same because then it's a different system and it's different tactics and it's, it needs to be in-house playing the same style.
And if we're going to fix one more thing, as long as we're fixing the problems of the world, when RSL makes a huge sale of an academy homegrown player, they need to be able to convert that not only to money that they can use to reinvest, they should get something else like an international spot, or they should get an extra homegrown spot, something to reward them for developing these players. Because that's when we'll start seeing guys like Luka get more chances, because it would incentivize RSL to give them more chances.
Okay, I can see that. And you can say that's different and that's weird. Well, MLS is already doing a lot of things that are different and weird. Having a salary cap and designated players, they already got a bunch of special rules. What's one more special rule? Well,
I'm never going to hide from being special or weird. I'm not going to beat those allegations, and I'm not going to try.
Not until you shave that beard.
Never going to happen, my friend. As long as I'm married, the beard stays. Take it up with my wife.
All right, Santa Claus. Okay. At the end of the game, Gusky, and I don't know how he's going to get on the field for RSL. He could get stuck in this whole MLS next zone, which is why Orlando's loaning him out. The same deal. But, and his old coach is trying to give him the old pep talk and be a good guy, which I don't want to mock too much. I mean, we want more of that, right? Fine. But his body language is like, dude, you quit on me. I don't really want to listen to this. He might as well have gone, I got to go.
Yeah. I got a plane to catch. I got to go to Colorado. So Gusky played with the U20s, and he's a player that RSL hasn't seen in a while. I would say that we haven't seen that player. It's everything I keep telling you about Omar Marquez. A true six, a destroyer, a hard-nosed, no-nonsense, win the ball and give it to the guy next to you. Not scoring goals, not hitting 40-yard balls, also not coughing it up for Orlando's second goal tonight. He's a ball safe, keep it, give it to the guy next to you, no nonsense. I'm excited to see what he can do. I just, we'll say again that I wish Omar Marquez had gotten that chance.
Caliscan, Spearings, Pablo Ruiz, right? Established veterans. But when they're bringing in this many young guys, the squeeze is on. You got to play at a high level. I would say because of the way he's playing, Caliscan is the safest of those three. The other two guys, as they keep bringing in guys to those positions, I'm thinking, is the veteran going to move? Are they trying to free up some salary to use somewhere else? What are they doing here?
Well, we almost lost Pablo in the offseason, right? He's come back from these two horrific injuries. We almost lost him on loan to, I think, Colo-Colo. Don't forget, we've got a Mecca coming back soon. Everyone thinks I'm making this up for some reason. I swear on all things holy, he's running on the sideline. He's participating in some drills, but not a full participant in training.
But he started before and then gone. So I hesitate to don't wind the public up with this hope.
No,
this time's going to be different.
Well, I can tell you that it will, because I know what happened each of those 4 times. I know each of the 4 setbacks to his surgery. I don't know if I'm allowed to say them, but he told me what they were. And they're not happening anymore. So,
well, I know when he told you, because I walked by you while you two were not once but twice, and I wasn't trying to eavesdrop. But you're standing outside the broadcast booth. I had to leave to go to the bathroom. I had to come back in, and I was like, they are not just talking about sunrises over there.
I really can't say. So, and if I open my mouth, I don't want to betray a confidence again.
I get it. And I hope he is healthy, but there have been these setbacks, and knees are tricky, and, who's to say? And I mean,
this wasn't unusual. It was an unusual surgery he had, 100%.
Yeah. Okay, we're just about out of time here. We got like 1 minute left. The Utah Royals lost 4-2 to San Diego. This is 3 straight games that they've given up multiple goals. They've given up 9 goals in 3 games, and they've lost 2 of the 3. In the 4 previous games, they gave up 1 goal, and they won 3 of the 4 games. They did take a 1-0 loss in there. Before that, more bad results, more games with multiple goals. They're scoring goals in bunches, and they don't have to have a shutout to win. But when they start giving up multiple goals, as historically happens, man, the points per game, they've got to defend better. The ball's going in the back of the net too often here.
And I think that's part and parcel of what Jimmy Coonrades wants to do. He wants the press. He specifically said in the post-training interview he did before this match, I don't care about Miyabi defending. I've got Kate Del Fava for that. Well, Kate was the one who kept getting caught upfield because they are pressing so aggressively. So some of that I will just say is you can
risk
play
having
that
one.
way. It's risky. You need to have a goalie who's not going to give up questionable goals. And when when Mandy's on it, nothing's getting by her. But if she has an off night, then you will get punished when you play that way. And you will need your forwards to be clinical. And the players have been clinical. I'll tell you right now, Mina could have had a hat trick. And Chloe Lacoste was playing out of her mind. I feel like it drives me crazy that she doesn't get more credit for what she does. I feel the same way about Diego Luna. I feel like if they don't score a goal, people think they had a terrible game. And I'm sitting there like, sometimes you'll see me in the post-match press conference just shaking my head when people say, oh, what do you think it's going to take for Luna to get back on the schneid? And I'm like, did you just watch the same game that I did? He's involved in every single goal. He can't make the people in front of him score.
All right, that's RSL After Dark. We are out of time. RSL in León, Commerce City, Colorado, suburban Denver. Tuesday night, 8:30 Mountain Time. You'll hear it on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Winner to the quarterfinals just 1 week later. Are they going to get a midweek break? Not if they win. They keep coming two a week for whoever wins this one. Matty, good to talk to you. We'll talk to you again after the León game.
Thank you, sir.
RSL After Dark. Good night.